We're going to pick up on that with former JCPS School Board member Sam Corbett. He joined us here on Friday with some helpful information about the return of elementary and middle school. We invited him back to talk about this very big test today. You have once again been working the phones. You have principals as sources, board members currently, and of course the parents you've been talking to as well. What are you hearing as far as this big return tonight?
Doug, it appears that thus far today's gone relatively well. There were some delays this morning with buses arriving later, but there were also quite a few delays around traffic congestion around individual schools because, as you just mentioned, I think many parents have chosen to drive their kids to school because maybe they don't have faith in the bus system at this point.
Do you think that trend continues for the rest of the week, especially with it being 100 degrees outside?
Well, it's certainly, you would think so. You just talked about JCPS eliminating bus stops where there are no students. Well, maybe the reason there are no students is because the parents have chosen to take them to school, and if at some point they change their mind and now want to start using the bus system and those stops have been eliminated, that's going to cause even more problems.
I need you to address the 7:43 drop-off time on Friday. JCPS calling that an improvement. Marty Polio calling it a success because they beat it by the 2-hour mark that happened at the disastrous 9:58 time. We went back, did some quick research. 2022, fairly normal year. The drop-off time was at 7:30 p.m. But is that 7:43 the benchmark? Do they have to do better than that tonight? Can they do better than that tonight?
Well, if they could make that tonight, I think they would probably be pleased. But remember, they dismissed the last child at 4:40. So we're talking more, or I'm sorry, 4:20. So we're talking more than 3 hours. And long term, a week out, 2 weeks out, is that going to get better? Surely the bus drivers will learn the routes a little better and that will speed things up. But can we cut that back to where instead of 7:30, it's 6:30 or 6? That's the real challenge, and as you referenced, parents are not happy with 7:43.
Isn't that still an awfully long time for any kid, any age, to be on a school bus within their own county?
It certainly seems like it is because you could theoretically be talking about several hours. The bad luck of a heat wave this week is nobody can control that. That's just part of it, and of course most of these buses are not air conditioned. So it's just a real challenge right now.
And we asked today, less than 1% of the JCPS school buses are air conditioned, just 12 of them.
Right. And so you're going to have young children from age 5 to theoretically 18 on a bus for several hours, no water, stop and go, lots of heat, not a great situation.
So let's play out the rest of this week. Do you see it improving, or do you see this week just being a total wash of every day being a whole different seesaw of a different story or time?
Unfortunately, I think we're going to see more of the same, at least for this week. So if we're talking 7 to 7:45 for the final drop-off, I would predict that's probably what we're going to see this week. At some point, when a lot of the parents who are driving their children to school decide to put them back into the bus system, how does that impact things? We don't know that at this point.
So that's down the road, and you would think that would have to come once this heat wave breaks.
You would think so.
All right, Sam Corbett, thank you very much. We appreciate your perspective as always.